What's up, YouTube? It's your boy, LordSolarPrime. I know it's been a while, but today we're going to be discussing some combo lines for Infernobles using the Sinful Sports package. First and foremost, before the video even starts, I would like to give a huge shout out to Rudy Torres, who is a well-known Infernoble player in the community. I ran across a lot of his videos on YouTube, and he was discussing a few combo lines that was very hazy to me or unknown to me. So I decided to reach out to Rudy to get clarity, and he was more than happy to share his knowledge with me. And I really, really appreciate Rudy for that. So shout out to Rudy. I initially invested in the Simple Sports package for my upcoming Fire Kings deck, but I quickly noticed there was a lot of synergy to be had with the Sinful Sport package in Infernobles. So I decided to add these cards to my Infernoble deck, and I had great success, like a lot of you guys have on YouTube. So one of the three things that the Sinful Sport package, to my knowledge, gives Infernobles is it allows us to play after being hit with Nibiru. Secondly, it takes the pressure off its soul becoming a huge choke point, which is very known for Infernobles. And lastly, this package enhances established combo lines that we already know, and some are very new to us, which we will be discussing in this video. So the purpose of this video is to display combo lines that are not so known at this point with Infernobles, so everybody is caught up at this point. Of course, there's a lot of other combo lines out there, but these are the ones I want to focus on displaying for you guys at this point. So I got a lot to show, so let's go ahead and get into it, guys. I appreciate you guys rocking with me for this long and staying subscribed, but here we are. Let's go ahead and get into it. All right, guys, welcome to combo line number one. This is a pretty familiar combo with a lot of players starting out with Ogier and Roland, but this is one of the combos that I struggle with. So I reached out to Rudy Torres for him to explain to me how he got uses out of two Infernoble Knight Captain Rolands, and he shared this line specifically with me because this is one I kind of struggle with. So let's go ahead and push this well-known combo line out. This is a combo line that beats Nibiru, so keep that in mind. So let's go ahead and get started. First, we're going to normal summon out Ogier, which is going to be summon number one. Ogier effect is going to send down Gearfried to the graveyard. At that point, we can then special summon out Infernoble Knight Roland, which is going to be summon number two. Roland hits the board. He's going to add us Gearfried to our hand. I'm gonna put my hand up there. From this point here, he's a tuner, level 4. We can synchro into Angelica. Angelica hits the board. On summon, she grabs us Museum to our hand. We're going to then activate Museum. Pay 1,200 life points to add us Almace to our hand. At this point here, we need to get Roland, the first Roland on the board. So we're going to activate Ogier, targeting Angelica. Angelica effect is going to chain to then banish herself to send down a Fire Warrior to the grave and special summon out the first Captain Roland, which puts us at summon number 4. Sorry, I skipped over summon number 3. So that's summon number 4. So at this point here, we need to get Gearfried out there as soon as possible. So we're going to activate Almace. Almace is then going to swap out for a copy of the Rendell. At this point here, we can activate Gearfried's effect to banish the Almace to special summon out Gearfried. Now we're protected under Nibiru as our 5th summon for Gearfried. Of course, we would just give up the equip card to negate the Nibiru, but let's keep going. At this point, we can go ahead and activate Turbo's effect to equip to Gearfried. Now we can use the Rendell's effect to search us a extender, which is going to be Fire Flint Lady. So now we're going to special summon out Fire Flint Lady and use the first Roland and Fire Flint to link summon into Isolde. Isolde's first effect is going to add us a copy of Neo Space Connector or any warrior for that matter of your choice. Then we're going to activate her second effect to drop one equip card to the graveyard to special summon out a warrior. at that star level. So Ricardetto hits the field. Ricardetto targets Ogier in the grave to special summon. So he's a tuner, level 4. This is where we go into our second Captain Roland. And from here, we want to be able to use Turpin a little bit later in the combo, so we need to get him to the graveyard or to the board. So now we're going to activate the effect of Phoenix Blade to banish Fire Flint and Renaud to add this back to our hand. Now we're going to equip Phoenix Blade to Gearfried. How ironic. That way we can now use Turpin in combination with Museum to special summon up Turpin. Now we have a 4 and we have a 5. We can go ahead and synchro summon into Infernoble Knight Emperor Charles. Now we can activate the effect of Captain Roland to equip to Emperor Charles. And now we control at least one monster with an equip card. We can activate Turpin's effect to special summon him to the field. We're going to link summon these two off for Emperor Charles the Great. Emperor Charles the Great hits the board, targets Infernoble Knight Charles engraved to equip to him. At this point here, we can use Turpin and Isolde to link summon. Isolde goes to grave, Turpin gets banished for SP Little Knight. We're almost done, guys, almost done here. So at this point here, we're pretty much done building the board. Now we can move to the end phase where a lot of effects are important. So now we're going to bring back Angelica. In this sequence, you need to bring back Angelica. And now we're going to resolve the second Captain Roland's effect, which is going to allow us to drop an equip card to the graveyard, which is going to be Angelica's Angelic Ring, and add us a Fire Warrior to our hand. Now we're going to resolve the effect of Emperor Charles the Great to equip a equip card from the graveyard. And since we did that, we're now allowed to equip a Fire Warrior from our deck. We want to equip Malgus. And since we did not use the effect of Emperor Charles the Great this turn, we use this effect to pop away the Malgus, to shuffle back Turpin, Renaud, and Almace to our deck to draw a free card. Hopefully this random card we drew is a hand trap, but who knows what it's going to be. It's a random card. And this concludes this particular combo. So what are we looking at here? We're looking at least 5 points of interruption. We have interruption with SP Little Knight. We have a monster negate with with Immortal Phoenix Gearfried. We have a spell or trap negate with Emperor Charles the Great, as well as a spell resolution effect negation with Angelica's Ring. We also have a point of interruption with Roland in graveyard to equip himself to Charles to disrupt our opponent by popping a card. So there's 5 points of interruption. So this brings this particular combo to an end where we're able to utilize the complete effect of Captain Roland during the end phase to send an equip card and give us follow-up to our hand in the form of Renaud. So this is one of the combos I reached out to Rudy Torres to help me understand. So now there's no excuse for us to be playing 2 Angelicas with this combo being well known to everybody. So let's move on to the Simple Spoil combos. All right, guys, welcome to combo 9, number 2, where we're going to be opening with Wanted and Museum in our opening hand plus 1 random card. Don't worry about the random card. We're going to generate more advantage throughout this turn, so don't worry about it. We just need a card to pitch for the Black Witch effect. So we're going to open up our hand, draw phase. We're going to activate a copy of Wanted, and it's going to search us a copy of Diabell Star, the Black Witch. For this point here, we're going to activate Noble Orange Museum. Museum is going to pay 12 to search us a Noble Orange Durandal. Then we're going to special summon Black Witch by sending another copy of Wanted from my hand to the graveyard. And when she hits the board, she's going to then set a copy of original Sinful Spoil Snake Eye to the field. Since we control a monster, we now can equip her with the Rendell. Activate the Rendell effect to search for Sublimation to our hand. The Rendell goes to grave. Our normal summon is going to be the normal summon of Sublimation. And when he's normal summon, he can equip a fire warrior from the deck to himself. And the ward we're going to choose is going to be Infernoble Turpin. A lot of you guys know when Turpin is equipped to a monster, it turns that monster into a tuner. So now we have a level 3 tuner and we have a level 7 monster. We're going to use these two to synchro summon into Baron de Fleur. Which is really important because Baron de Fleur is going to insulate our plays going forward. Once we get Baron on the field, now we need to get a way to get to a soul. So let's go ahead and do that. We're going to activate the Infernoble Turpin Engrave to equip to Baron de Fleur. And now we're going to activate OSS, sending Turpin to the grave to then special summon out Ricardetto. Ricardetto effect is going to special summon out Turpin from the grave. This goes to grave. Now we're going to use these two to link summon for Isolde. Isolde's first effect is going to add us Connector. I'm going to put my hand up here because I don't really need it right now. Search us Connector. Then we're going to send 4 equip cards to the graveyard for her second effect. Send DDR. Send another copy of the Rendell. Send Angelica's Ring. And we're going to send Phoenix Blade to the graveyard to then special summon out Ogier. Ogier effect is going to send down Malgus to the graveyard. I'm going to choose not to activate his effect here, but you surely can if you want. I'm going to just wait till the end phase or closer to the end phase because I have a lot of cards in the deck I want to get out first. So there we go with that. So once Malgus is in the graveyard, we're going to use Malgus effect to equip himself to Baron de Fleur or any other warrior on the field. And since we control an equip card now, a monster that's equipped it, we can use Turpin's effect in grave to special summon him back to the field. Museum is going to activate its effect to special summon up the Malgus to the board. And then we're going to exceed summon Malgus and Turpin for a copy of Dempsey. And this is very important that you place Dempsey underneath Isolde to further this particular combo out. So just please keep that in mind. Dempsey has to be XYZ summoned under Isolde. When Dempsey hits the board, we're then going to search a copy of Infernoble Roland. All right, at this point, we're going to then activate the effect of Phoenix Blade. We're then going to banish 1, 2 to add Phoenix Blade back to our hand. Now we're going to special summon out Roland. Roland is going to add us back DDR from the grave. I'm going to put that back there because we're not going to need it too soon. Then now we have a tuner and a level 4 monster. We now can go for Angelica. So use these two to synchro summon into Angelica. Angelica effect grabs us another copy of Museum. At this point, we can check the field, check the grave to make sure we're good on everything. Activate another copy of Noble Arms Museum. Pay 12 again, so that's another 1,200, putting us now at a total of 2,400 life points lost throughout this turn. Now we need to get Angelica off board. So at this point, if you haven't got back Phoenix Blade, go ahead and get back Phoenix Blade and equip it to your Angelica. Angelica gets banished. She'll be back at the end phase. This falls to the grave, sending Gearfried and special summoning out Captain Roll. This point here, we need to try to get Charles on board. But normally we would use Turpin, but Turpin is underneath Dempsey at the moment, and his effect has already been used. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and equip Almace to Captain Roland. And now we're going to use the effect of Ogier, because she hasn't used her effect, or he hasn't used his effect yet, to equip to Captain Roland. Then we're going to use the effect of Museum to bring Ogier to the field. And we're going to use Ogier, Roland, to synchro summon for Infernoble Knight Charles. In the grave, our mace is going to be 1. Captain Roland is going to be 2. So Roland equips to Charles. It grabs back Gearfried to our hand. Here we can go ahead and link summon since we control a Charles that has an equip card. For our first Emperor Charles, his effect activates and grabs Infernoble Knight Charles, equipping to him. Use the effect of Emperor Charles to destroy the Infernoble Knight Charles. And we did that for a reason, and you'll see in just a second. So at this point here, we're going to banish, for the effect of Phoenix Blade, we're going to banish of Ogier and a copy of Infernoble Knight to add Phoenix Blade to our hand. So let's go ahead and get that second charge. We're going to then now activate the effect of pitching Phoenix Blade back to the graveyard to special summon our Infernoble Knight Charles. And then since Charles is equipped with DDR, we can then go ahead and use this link material for our second Infernoble Knight Emperor Charles the Great. His effect equips Emperor Charles. And at this point here, DDR is dead in the grave, so we're going to banish it for the effect of Free. Now it's time to... So now we're going to use these two monsters here, Isolde and Dempsey, to now link summon for the SP Little Knight. When Malgus is sent to the grave, we're now going to use his effect to put back some warriors back to our deck. We're going to put back Ricardetto, we're going to put back Ogier, and we're going to put back a copy of Durendal back to our deck. And we're going to draw a card. Hopefully it's not a card I need in this combo. Let me just check. It is not. So now we're going to draw a card. Hopefully it's a hand trap. Hopefully it's something we could use on our opponent's turn. All right, there we go. At this point, we're still nearing the end phase, so we're going to check our grid and make sure there's nothing there to activate. Now, this is personal preference aside. You can do the effect of the Wanted poster in the grave to put back your OSS, or you can leave OSS in the graveyard for your following turn to grab you back or not on your turn for follow-up. But for the sake of this video and just to give me a +1 during this turn, I'm going to banish the Wanted poster to put back OSS to the bottom, and I'm going to draw a card. Like I said, hopefully it's a hand trap, something we can use. Now, let's go ahead and check our grade, make sure there's no Infernoble Knights we can use. We've already used Malgus, we've already used Fully Turpin. Now we can grab back the Phoenix Blade. So with Phoenix Blade, we're going to banish Dempsey and Isolde to add Phoenix Blade back to our hand. At this point here, you can either keep this in your hand or you can equip it to either Gearfried or Defleur. I am going to choose, and it also depends on, if you have any settable cards like Imperm, Forbidden Droppers, anything like that. For the sake of this, I am going to equip it to Baron Defleur. And now I'm going to move to the end phase. The end phase is going to bring back Angelica, and now we're going to activate Emperor Charles the Great effect to equip from the grave. And of course, Angelica's ring. With that, we're going to equip a Fire Warrior from our deck to Emperor Charles the Great. All right, so this is the end board of this combo. We managed to plus 2 cards in this combo. One of them is optional depending on what you guys want to do, and one of them is a known card to our opponent in the form of a Neospace Connector. So what are we looking at? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 points of interruption. So we have 2 Spell Trap negations. We have and we have a Omni negate that can negate spells, traps, or monster effects. We have a disruption on our opponent's turn with SP Little Knight and Captain Roland and the grave equipped into a monster, so Charles could then destroy a card on the field. So that does it for the end of this particular combo. Let's move over to combo line number 3. Hopefully it's a part of this video. If not, then I'll break it up. Welcome back. So in this video here, we're going to be focusing on opening hand with Wanted, Neo Space Connector, and these are just 3 random cards we open in our hand. So disregard those, even though they're great cards. So draw phase, we're going to hit our opponent with the Wanted to search us, deal Bellstar the Black Witch. From this point here, we're then going to normal summon out Connector. Connector effect is going to special summon out Neo Space Dolphin. And this is where all these cards in our hand come into play. We're going to discard 1 card to look at our opponent's hand. Hopefully we can snipe a card out their hand, which is going to be represented by this card right here on the field. And then from this point, we're then going to send Dolphin to the grave to special summon out Black Witch. Black Witch hits the board. Place these up here for just a moment. Black Witch hits the board to set us OSS. So we're going to set OSS right there. Now to rip another card out of our opponent's hand, we're going to activate the effect of Neo Space Connector to tribute itself to special summon back out Neo Space Aqua Dolphin. And then we're going to activate Dolphin's effect to pitch a card from our hand to take potentially another card from our opponent. And this time we're at the attack point cap of 2,500 due to Black Witch being on the field. So from here, we need to get a sold on the board. So we're now going to activate OSS, sending away the Black Witch to special summon out Ricardetto. Ricardetto doesn't have any targets to special summon from the grave, so we're not going to worry about his effect just yet. So now we're going to link summon these 2 away for Isolde. Isolde's first effect is going to add us a copy of Sublimation Knight or any word that we're not going to need throughout this particular combo. So it can be Fire Flint Lady if you want. Moving on from there, we're now going to send 4 equip cards to the graveyard for her second effect. So we're going to send DDR, Durandal, Angelic's Ring, and Phoenix Blade to special summon out Ogier. Ogier effect activates and sends Turpin to the graveyard. From here, we're going to activate Phoenix Blade's effect. We're going to banish Aqua Dolphin and Ricardetto to add Phoenix Blade to our hand. This is going to be our banished power right here. Now we're going to activate Phoenix Blade, equipping to either 2 of these monsters, and we're going to activate the effect of Turpin and Grave to special summon to the field. From there, we're going to exceed summon using Turpin and Ogier for a copy of Dempsey. Dempsey is going to hit the field and going to add us a copy of Roland. From this point here, check the grave for just a second. We're now going to special summon out Roland. Roland's effect is going to activate on the field to grab us DDR back from the graveyard. Put this to our hand. And now we're going to use all 3 of these monsters here to link summon for Alpaloosa. Once we get Alpaloosa on board, we're then going to activate the effect of Phoenix Blade, banishing these 2 monsters here to add Phoenix Blade back to our hand. Come here, guys. Boom. And now we go for Angelica. We activate the effect of DDR, pitching the useless Sublimation Knight because we cannot use it the turn we search it for Angelica's effect, and then we can use it as fodder for Phoenix Blade later on in the turn. Keep it for follow-up you won't, but I like to discard this card because it has no use during this particular turn. So DDR special summon back out Ricardetto. Now Ricardetto can activate his effect to special summon a level 4 Allure fire monster from the grave. We're going to get back Turpin just because. Now we're going to special summon out, or synchro summon out Angelica. Angelica hits the field. Her effect activates, grabbing us Museum. Activate Museum, pay 12. Lets us add all mace to our hand. Now we need to get Angelica off the board. So this is why I said I like to keep Phoenix Blade in my hand. So we're gonna activate Phoenix Blade, targeting Angelica. Angelica will return at the end phase. This falls off, sending Gearfried to the graveyard, special summoning out Captain Roland. All right, from here, we need to make a synchro play. So normally, through some other normal combos, we would, equip all mace and special summon out Turpin, but Turpin has already used his effect. So now we're going to activate, well, that particular effect is special summon. Now we're gonna activate Turpin's effect to equip to Captain Roland. And we're gonna equip all mace to Captain Roland. And we're gonna use the effect in Museum to special summon up Turpin to the field. And then we're gonna synchro summon. Ooh, messed up the cards here. And we're going to synchro summon for Infernoble Knight Charles. As soon as he hits the board, and then I'm gonna go 1, 2, equip Captain Roland, add Gearfried to our hand. All right. Now that we have Infernoble Knight Charles equipped we can link these guys away for Emperor Charles the Great. Emperor Charles the Great equips Charles from the graveyard. And now we can go ahead and activate the effect of Gearfried, banishing DDR to special summon him to the field. And let's go ahead and check our graveyard to see if there's any activated effects we need to go ahead and pop off right now. Since we're nearing the end phase and we have not used the effect of Ogier to equip, we're going to use her effect to equip to Charles the Great. And then from this point here, check the graveyard one more time. We can grab back Phoenix Blade by banishing a copy of, we're gonna keep Turpin engraved. We're gonna banish Sub Knight Roland to add Phoenix Blade to our hand. And in this combo, we're gonna keep Phoenix Blade in our hand for a while. Now we can go and activate Wanted Poster, banishing this to now send back to the bottom of the deck OSS. Of course, this is always preference, guys. You can keep it in the graveyard to add your Renard on your follow-up. But for the sake of this, I want to replenish the cards that I discarded throughout this turn. So I'm gonna put this back. Sorry about that, Alpo. To draw a card. Hopefully it's something we can use. Now we're going to move towards the end phase. End phase, we're gonna return back Angelica, and we're gonna activate Emperor Charles the Great effect to equip a equip card from the grave. And we're going to equip a monster from the deck. And since we haven't used Charles' effect to destroy a card on field, we're going to use his effect now to destroy Malgus. Malgus then is going to target Fire Warriors or Noble Arms and return them back to the deck to draw a card. So we're going to get back that, Durendal, and let's just say Ricardetto. If you don't want to put back Ricardetto, you can definitely put back all mace. I'm just going to put back Ricardetto since we put back OSS. Put these guys back to the deck, shuffle up, and we're going to draw a card. Hopefully it's something we can use, but these are just random cards. So the random cards in our hand is just Wanted, Nibiru, and Droll. The only card that's in our hand that's known to our opponent is Divine Sword. Okay, this is the end board that we're going to end on. So let's see what we got here. So we have Immortal Phoenix Gearfried, which is a monster negate. We have Angelica. We have a Spell and Trap negate with Emperor Charles. We have a Appaloosa with 3 counters on it for 3 monster effect negations. And we also have Angelica's Ring here to negate the resolution of a spell card. So that is it. And we also hopefully discarded 2 cards out of our opponent's hand. So that does it for the end of this particular combo. Let's move on to one more combo, guys. See you later. In this particular combo line, we're gonna be going second against a Vanquish Soul player. I don't do a lot of going second combo lines, but I'm trying to get better at doing so. But in this particular video, let's just say the Vanquish Soul player ends on a board, something like this. After we hand trap them to sleep on their turn, using these 3 cards here. So these cards are in the graveyard, these 2 cards are in our hand. There can only be one, and Caesar are on the Vanquish Soul player's field. There can only be one is a huge headache for our decks. It's almost game for us. Like, we can't really play through it. But in this particular combo line, I'm going to show you guys how to play through TC and to just crack the board using the wanted poster and museum. So we hand trap them to sleep on their turn. So we pass turn to us. We draw the late Nibiru as always. In draw phase, we're going to activate the wanted poster. Wanted poster is going to add us the Bellstar, the Black Witch. We're then going to activate the museum. Pay 12 is going to add us the Rendell. Now we're going to special summon out the Bellstar, the Black Witch, pitching the Nibiru to the graveyard. She hits the board. She's going to set us OSS. We're going to activate the Rendell, searching us Ogier. We're not going to normal summon Ogier. Just rock with me. We're not going to normal summon Ogier. Ogier's in our hand. Now we need to crack this board of TC Boo if we really want to make our board. So we're going to use the effect of OSS, getting rid of the museum. We're not going to use it right now. Plus, we're going to get another one. OSS is going to special summon out Ricardetto. Ricardetto is not going to have any effect when he hits the board, but we're going to take Ricardetto, link summon him off for Link Karibo. Then we're going to use Link Karibo and the Bellstar to link summon for SP Little Knight. SP Little Knight effect activates to banish a card on field. Since we use the Link monster for the Link summon, it's going to banish the TC Boo. Now that TC Boo has been answered, we're free to summon as many warriors as we need. But how do we get Ogier to the field? We then have to look back in our graveyard to then activate the effect of Ricardetto to banish him, to special summon out Ogier to the field. Once Ogier hits the field, she's going to send Turpin to the graveyard. Now we're going to use Ogier and SP to now link summon for Isolde. Isolde's first effect is going to grab a Neospace Connector, put Connector at death. We're not really going to use it. From that point there, we can now drop 4 equip cards to the graveyard. Typically, we would drop 4 equip cards to summon out Ogier, but in this line, we're going to use it to special summon out Malgus. All right. Now that Malgus is in the graveyard, we're going to activate the effect of Phoenix Blade to banish SP and Ogier. To add this to our hand and equip it to Malgus. Since Malgus has an equip card, we can now activate Turpin effect to special summon from the grave. Then we're going to use both of these to XYZ summon. For Dempsey. Dempsey effect is going to grab us Renard. Renard is going to special summon him himself and give us DDR. Now, at this point, we need to get more warrior fodder for the effect of Phoenix Blade. So we're going to take Dempsey and we're going to take Isolde and link for another Isolde. And this really irritates me because I want to get more value out of every play I do. But the fact that my extra deck is now so tight that I cannot afford to play another card that I would like to play. If you guys are still playing, what's his name? Ferocious Flame Swordsman, that's a perfect candidate to make right now. But seeing as we kind of have to play 2 Isoldes for the bad players that like to make bad plays on Isolde, this is it. So Isolde's there. Now we can activate Phoenix Blade effect, banishing these 2, Isolde and Dempsey, to grab back Phoenix Blade. Now, what we can do, we need to get a level 4 warrior back on the field. We have a banished Ogier out of play. So what we can do, we can play DDR. We can either pitch the Connector or the Phoenix Blade. I'm going to choose to send the Connector because I can't do anything with it. and it helps facilitate Phoenix Blade later on down the line. And we're going to bring back Ogier. Now that Ogier is back, we can now synchro summon these away for Angelica. Angelica hits the field, grabs us another copy of Museum, activate Museum, negative 2,400 for us in total to grab Almace. We're going to keep Phoenix Blade in our hand because we have Infernoble monsters in our grave that we can activate their effect to target to help Angelica grab her effect off. So we're going to activate the effect of Turpin to target Angelica. Angelica is going to banish herself to special summon Captain Roland and to also drop a Gear Free to the graveyard. At this point here, I can see the line that we're only going to be able to put out one Emperor Charles the Great. So now we can go here and activate the effect of Malgus to equip to Captain Roland. And we're also going to equip Almace to Roland. Now we're going to use the effect of Museum to bring Malgus to the field. Then we're going to synchro summon using these for Emperor Charles. And now we're going to activate a set of 3 cards. We're going to go 1, 2, 3. So we're going to equip Roland. Malgus is going to put back some monsters back to our deck, along with, I think, maybe 2 equip cards. Let's see, the Rendell for sure. And who else is in here that we do not need? Let's put back Renat. So we put back Renat, Durendo, and Ricardetto. Shuffle up, draw 1 card. I'm gonna put that up there, but this is just a blank card. And Almace resolves, letting us grab back Immortal Phoenix Gear Free to our hand. So this is our hand right here. Now that we have control Charles with an equip card, we can now link summon him away for Charles the Great. Charles the Great equips Emperor Charles. And of course here at this point, we can destroy that if it's able to be destroyed. Not sure, but for the sake of this video, let's just say he's able to be destroyed. So he goes to grave. Now they have no cards on their field. We special summon out Gear Free by banishing DDR. Just these 2 cards are in our hand. And what's there? And let's see. What we can do here is we can Wanted poster, banish to put OSS back on the bottom. And we can just draw a random card. So I'm just turn these over for randoms. Random card. And we check our grave to make sure there's anything we can activate. So we can activate Ogier effect to equip to Charles the Great. And now we move into battle. We attack for, what is this, 4, 35, 16, but move to the end phase. That's where all the magic happens. Move to the end phase. We're going to bring back Angelica. Charles the Great effect brings back this. We get it equipped from the deck. I'm gonna bring Oliver here. And this is our end board after we have already attacked our opponent. So this brings this combo line video to an end. I really appreciate you guys rocking with me. Like I said, Vanquish Souls players, please do not be upset. This is just an example. It could have been any other deck, but these are the cards I have on hand. I appreciate you guys rocking with me. Continue to like, comment, and subscribe. There's tons more. There's a lot more combos that have to deal with the Sinful Spoils and Infernobles. These are the ones I wanted to showcase to you guys at this particular point. I did end up going to a Winamax tournament for the 25th anniversary rarity collection. I ended up getting first place, so I'll be showing you guys my deck profile for that in an upcoming video along with the playmat, and be on the lookout for that. And with that being said, I really appreciate Rudy Torres for getting with me to help me understand these combos a little bit better. So big shouts out to him, and I'm out of here, guys. Peace.